Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm Gamesplaining Libertalia. In previous videos you will have learnt how to play Libertalia. I'm now going to do a quick playthrough. This is not going to be the easiest of things because there's a lot of hidden information and simultaneous action that needs to happen. So I've set up the game for 3 players. 1, 2, 3. That's yellow, white, and red. Now I've placed the cards out on the table. Since everyone has an identical set of cards, I'll just talk through one set of them, and then the rest of the players will just need to select which ones we're going to grab. So starting at the bottom rank, we've got the beggar. That will force whoever has the highest character on the ship to give you money. Then there's the recruiter, who'll gather characters from your own den once they're in there, so these are not worth playing at the beginning. The preacher would be worthwhile having if you happen to have a lot of booty tiles that are these ones. So he's probably worth hanging on to near the end, and he will also have the value of being able to gain 5 doubloons at the end of the round if he's still in your den. The carpenter, you lose half of your doubloons, so he's useful to use if you use him when you don't have much money, and you're going to gain 10 by if he's still in your den at the end of the game as well. The French officer, gain 5 doubloons if you have less than 9. Now everyone starts with 10, so there's no point in playing him yet. Next up is the merchant. Discard 2 identical booty tiles to gain 3 doubloons, or 3 identicals to gain 5 doubloons. So he would be worthwhile using if you're going to pick up a lot of the same types of things. So, I mean, if you've got 3 barrels, they're only worth 1 doubloon each. So if you've got 3 of them, it actually makes it worth 5 doubloons. Or you could turn your curse tokens into those doubloons as well. The treasurer, you gain 1 doubloon for each of your goods, jewels, or chests that you have. So that's, again, an end of the game, or end of the round scoring point. So he's worthwhile using because you gain extra money for him being in your den. Okay, the gambler, you're going to pay 1 doubloon for each of your booty tiles, but if he's still in your den at the end of the game, you'll gain 8 doubloons. So the earlier you play him, the less he costs, but then the more you'll gain at the end of the game. And then the quartermaster, who's the highest ranking officer in the current deck, you gain 1 doubloon for each of your booty tiles, but if he's still in your den at the end of the game, he's going to lose you 8 doubloons. So it would be worthwhile matching him with number 4 on concurrent turns. So I'll just kind of put them there to remind me. So you would want to play the quartermaster first to gain the doubloons for all the tiles you've got. So you want to play him on round 5 and then play him on round 6. Now that's one way to balance those. Obviously other players will probably have had the same thoughts on that. This one's a way to get some money straight away from a higher ranking character than yourself. But if someone else or everyone else plays that on the first round, you might be in trouble because if everyone plays the same number, whoever has the highest number here will be actually further up the track and so therefore have the higher rank. There's no booty tiles to discard. He's going to cost me 5 doubloons to give me 10 at the end if he's still in there. But if I play him, then play him, I'll gain another 9. I'll gain another 5 for having less than 9. Or if I play him on one of the earlier ranks, he needs to have to be able to combine these two. I mean, having the gambler there early would enable me to get him there for free and basically get 8 doubloons for free if I get him to the end of the round. And then the French officer would gain another 5 doubloons. But if I do him first, there's nothing lost, so therefore the French officer wouldn't do anything. So I need to play him second. I need to play him near the end, so maybe just before these guys. Play him second, play him third, 4, 5, 6. So I just need to choose one that's going to work. These guys aren't really of much value to me at the moment, so I'm going to try that. Okay, so This player is lining up these cards, and that's the way he's planning on playing from left to right, turn 1 through to 6. It's worthwhile having a plan at the beginning of the game. Now, that plan may have to change depending on what everyone else plays. So, the white player is looking at the board and noticing what he actually wants to pick up. So rather than thinking about the skills that his cards can do, he's aware that he's going to have the highest ranking officer if he wants to pick up this chit here. So he's going to play his 26 last. Working our way back, one of the highest two, so he probably needs to play the second highest. So the highest two will be the last two that he plays. Then coming back down, in the first and second rounds, he just needs to not be the lowest. So on the first round, he might play number 6. So that's not the lowest, but he's betting that someone's going to play the beggar on the first round. On the second one, he needs to also not be the lowest. And on the third one, also not the lowest. So he might aim to do that, and he can be the lowest there, and that'll enable him to kill something. Okay, so he might line them up like that. Okay, now yellow is going to try looking at both things. Now he notices that there are three treasure maps on the board. If he can get all 3 of those treasure maps, that'll be worth 12 doubloons to him. So he really desperately will need to make sure that he's the highest in the last turn, because by the time he gets to that, everyone will have noticed that he's grabbing at the treasure maps. On the second turn, he probably wants to be the highest as well, because people aren't going to want to grab either the curse or the cutlass. And then on the second, so look, he might do that. He only needs to be second highest there. So that will be those 3 where the treasure maps are, and then he just needs to fill in the other spots. So it doesn't matter what place he's in on the third top one. So he might put his lowest card in on the third top one. Then he needs to not be bottom on that third one. So on this one here. So he's looking at his cards now. This one's not going to do him any good. He's playing the gambler early, so he'll put this guy in after the gambler, and that will enable him to get some extra monies. And then he needs to find someone to play on the first turn out, and he just needs to not be the lowest. So I guess he'll play the carpenter and see how that turns out. Okay, so those 3 go to the side. I've now selected what everyone's going to do. Now, that's just a thought process that would happen at the beginning of the game. You're not going to necessarily stick with that all the way through, but let's see how that all plays out. So, first round, each of the players is going to play the first card that they chose. Those cards then get lined up with their ranks. So, lowest rank on the left, highest rank on the right. Each of the 3 players has a slightly different game plan. So now we go into the day actions, and they go from left to right. So first up, the beggar does his day actions. He'll gain 3 doubloons from the yellow player. Goes across to the red player. Next across, the preacher, discard all booty tiles but 1. He doesn't have any booty tiles, so he doesn't have to discard anything. And then we come to the carpenter, lose half of your doubloons. So carpenter only has 7 doubloons. He will lose 3. Take some change for that 5. Okay, now we go to the dusk action, which is taking the booty tiles. So the carpenter chooses first, which is yellow, and he'll grab the barrels. Then white will grab a barrel, and then red will take the cursed treasure. Okay, those cards then, as you take them, go into the den. of each player, which is the space just above their player board. And we then go to play our next card. These are the 3 cards that got played. The 21 is the lowest, so it goes down. These 2 are both 24s, which means that we go to this number here, and red has the higher one in this particular turn. Okay, we now go to Merchant. Discard 2 identical booty tiles to gain 3 doubloons. Grey only has 1, so he can't do anything with that. Yellow, the Gambler, pay 1 doubloon for each booty tile. So yellow has 1 booty tile, so he will pay 1 doubloon. Then the Gambler for red, pay also 1 doubloon. Okay, now coming back down, the red player is going to grab the treasure map, and the Gambler goes back into his thing. Yellow player was really desperately hoping for that treasure map, but he's unable to take it. So he will grab the cutlass and kill, and he'll kill the Gambler from the yellow player's stack. So that goes into what's called the graveyard, and that goes straight back into the bag. And yellow will bring that down into his den, and then white will put that in his den and have to take the cursed treasure. Now once again, no one has any knight skills, so we don't need to worry about that phase. Now yellow is now going to have to rethink his entire thing, because he doesn't want those treasure maps up on the top end. So if he leaves his highest player there to be able to grab that will be fine. He really needs to grab that treasure, so that's actually not a bad idea. Look, he might just leave everything in the same order that he's currently got it in, and grab the other chit when he goes and does that particular lineup. Okay, the next day we've got 2 10s, red and yellow, are really working similarly. Okay, so these guys have both played the French officer, gain 5 doubloons if you have less than 9. So yellow most definitely has less than 9, he'll gain 5. Red has 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He has more than 9, so he won't gain anything. And the treasurer doesn't have a day skill, so we don't do anything with him. However, the treasurer will be the one that takes the top treasure, and he will kill the carpenter of yellow player, because that would have gained him 10 doubloons at the end of the round. That carpenter is now dead in the graveyard. Then red gets the French with the French officer, takes that back, and no, he'll take the Spanish officer, which kills that character because he was a fake character. And then last up, yellow will take the cursed face. Okay, next up we have 3 rounds left to go. So the 3 cards that are being played are the 3, 4 and 23. Going through the day phases, beggar will get 3 doubloons from the red. 3 goes to yellow. Then white will take one of the characters back into his hand. He's actually going to grab this one back into his hand. So theoretically, if white were to get another skull face, he could then use this. In fact, let's swap the order of these guys over. Let's see how that plays out with that. Okay, and then red's day action, he doesn't have a day action, so we then work our way back down. So red will grab the treasure chest. That one will go straight to the discard pile, or the graveyard, because that was a Spanish officer, and same deal with that one for yellow, another Spanish officer, they go back in the bag. Okay, let's go to the last 2 rounds. Leave that there. Okay, so we go 23, 24 and 26 have been played. Go for the day actions. Yellow has no day action. The gambler, pay 1 doubloon for each tile. So we've got 2, so he's going to pay 2 doubloons for that. And then the quartermaster is gain 1 doubloon for each booty tile. 2 more coins for red. Okay, going back down, we'll grab the other treasure map, and that will go back into his den. The white will grab the cursed one, and yellow will grab the other treasure. Also, okay, there's no dusk, should I say, there's no night skills for any of them, so we then go to our last card. Now, red needs to rethink what he's playing to get that treasure map. That one's no good to him because that would lose the need to get the treasure map. That one will gain an extra character to his den, or from his den. What does he have in the booty tiles? So there's 1 treasure map, 2 treasure maps. There's 1 skull, and so that one's actually not going to do him any good either. Or lose half your doubloons. What's half of his doubloons? He's currently sitting with 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 11. So he'll lose 5 doubloons if he plays the carpenter, but he'll gain 10. Okay, he's going to play carpenter and hope that he comes out on top. Okay, there's the guys that have been played. Carpenter is actually the losing one, but let's see what happens. So Carpenter's going to lose half of his doubloons, which is 5. He'll just dump that one. The merchant discard 2 identical booty tiles. So there's 1 and there's the other. He doesn't have a third, does he? No, he does not. So he's going to discard those 2 booty tiles into the bag, and he will gain 3 doubloons for doing so onto the board. Okay, and then the yellow quartermaster, gain 1 doubloon for each of your booty tiles. He only has 3, so he's going to gain 3 more monies. And then we go back down. So quartermaster first up gets to grab that treasure tile. The merchant will grab that one, and the carpenter will grab that one. Okay, we now go to the end of day skills, end of game skills. Of course, there's no one has a night skill in these cards at the moment. So anyone who has a treasurer, we flip these over, and we gain 1 doubloon for each treasure barrel. So he's going to gain 1 more doubloon. Then we come to the quartermaster. Because he's still in there, we lose 8 doubloons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, the carpenter is going to gain 10 doubloons. So I'm pretty sure what happens in this case is we gain everything and then lose. So if I just leave those ones there and just gain 2 more doubloons for that carpenter, that'll balance out. I should have tried to get him out of my den before the end of that round. Okay, moving around here, we have the gambler is gain 8 doubloons, and the preacher is gain 5 doubloons, and the treasurer is gain 1 doubloon for each good jewel or chest, and he's got 2, so that's another 2. So it's 2, 10, 15 doubloons. And same deal over here. The gambler is 8. 1, 2, 3. So that's worth another 3. So that's 11. And then we're losing 8 doubloons because quartermaster's still there, which then leaves us with getting 3 monies onto our board. Now we also trade in our things here for monies. So I've got 1 chest, which is worth 1 money. And I've got 3 treasure maps, which are worth 12. So that's worth 13 monies, but I lose 3 monies for this guy. So this gains me 10 monies, which is just there. This player has 2 barrels, and that looks like about it. So that'll be worth 2 monies to him. And this player has 2 barrels, which are worth 1 each. So that's 2 plus one of these jewels, which is worth another 3. So that's worth 5 monies. But then he loses 3 for that, so it's only worth 2 monies to him. And we count up our monies and take that many points on the points tracker. So red has 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So red goes straight up to 19 monies. White has 10, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So white goes straight up to 28 points. And yellow has a lot of singles. It's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So yellow will go up to 19 as well. The next thing that happens is that the player who's been selecting the cards goes to their deck, takes another 6, and everyone else takes the same 6 that he's been selecting. 3, 4, 5, 6. So he'll call those numbers 5, 8, 11, 12, 14, 29. The other players will find those same 6 cards in their deck and add them to the cards they have in their hand, giving them another hand of 9 or 10 if they've managed to bring one of their cards back. And then they reduce their tiles on the board, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, back down to 10 coins as their starting position for the next round. And they go, all of these guys who are currently in the den disappear to the graveyard. They've done their work. And we start another round. That goes for 2 more rounds. So that is the basics of how to play Libertalia. I hope that gives you an idea of how the game plays. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below. If you have any games that you wish to be Gamesplayed, please shoot me an email at thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Subscribe to my videos to see what games I'm Gamesplaining. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter to keep up to date with the games that I'm playing. And until next time, enjoy gaming.